Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's opinions video. A big shout out to Edward for this suggestion, and we did the feedback for this last week and we're just getting round to it now. We might actually start focusing a little bit more on Bash in Berlin because it's not that far away now. Next week we'll do like predictions, your predictions. We may even dig into the odd match here and there, but we're going to focus on this one for now, and that is, when should Gunther lose the World Heavyweight Championship? Who should he lose it to? What feuds could he have as champion? Will it be a long title reign? These were just a few things for you to consider. We've had 44 responses. I think that he's not going to hold it as long as he did the IC title. I think he'll have this one for a shorter amount of time. I think he probably will get past Randy. But yeah, it's a tricky one, this. So many people could beat him. I'm looking at Sammy. I'm looking at Jay. I'm looking at CM Punk. There's loads. I mean, it could be Randy. Even if it's not this weekend, it could be a little further down the road. We could do a rematch at like Bad Bloods. And Randy could get it there, couldn't he? So yeah, I don't know. I think it's really tricky. I think there's loads of great options. With the Netflix move and the Cena tour next year, I don't think he's going to be having this belt for that long, to be honest. But let's see what you lot think. So here's Geezer HD. Geezer HD said as soon as possible. Anyone should get it from him, maybe even Hornswoggle. Don't want any feuds and don't want it to be long. Not sure if it shows. I don't like Gunther. Kim's Chains said Gunther should at least have the title to the next major PLE to give him some credibility. Before losing it to Sammy, I'd be down for that. He can feud with Damian, Ilya, Seth, Sheamus, maybe CM Punk. His title reign needs to be long or he'll be regarded as an interim champ. I think you mean transitional champ. If we go from like a babyface to a babyface and then you do like a very short heel champion in between, they tend to be called a transitional champ. The person that comes to mind when I think about that is Stan Stasiak, right? I want to say 73. That's off the top of my head, right? So we went from Pedro Morales and we went back to Bruno as champion, but they didn't want Bruno to beat Pedro. So we had Stan Stasiak have the title for like a week, 8 days, something like that. And he was a transitional champion. I think for me, like, where do you draw the line? When do you stop being a transitional champion? I'd say if you carry it for a month, 2 months, and you have a few title defenses, then I think you've probably shaken that tag off. It's interesting, though, because if Gunther loses to Randy in his very first title defense, then I think you could point at him as being a transitional champion. And it could be that he was only used as a way of getting the belt from Damian onto Randy. They didn't want Randy beating Damian, so we used Gunther as that transition. So yeah, interesting thought. That's Kim's Trains. Interesting. Janie said for his run to win the title, he said he was going to put Prestige back into the title. But that was done with people getting behind Damian. I don't think long championship reigns bring prestige, as it does become repetitive. As for who takes it for him, I don't know. Okay. Word of Wrestling said, I was surprised at SummerSlam because we all wanted it and we got Gunther as World Heavyweight Champion. It was a shock win because we're so used to being let down with what should happen during the Vince era. Now we're in the Triple H era with great storytelling behind every match. There are so many people after the gold and deserve it. Gunther losing to Randy won't make sense for Gunther, but also doesn't make sense for Randy to lose, as he deserves a run as well. Every match defending the belt will be a banger, but I believe he'll hold it as long as he did the IC. But this time he has not got the mid-card roster. He's got Punk, he's got Randy, he's got Bron Breakker, he's got many more. So Word of Wrestling is thinking that he is going to have that long title reign with the World Heavyweight Championship. Luke said, lose it at Royal Rumble to Orton. Then Orton faces Cena at Mania. Gunther could face Drew, Seth, Finn, Brock, Braun. It would be a medium title reign, about 4-5 months. WWE Ethan said, I'm not a big fan of Gunther. I don't think he's that good. All he does is spam chops and drop kicks. He has no charisma as champion. People say he's the best IC champion of all time. I call him the most boring. I compare him to Jinder Mahal. Not good enough to be a champion in WWE. I think the truth with Gunther is that he's got a very specific style. It's a very real style. He is more steak than sizzle. That's something that gets spoke about in wrestling quite a bit. The steak and the sizzle. So the steak is the real meat of the match. You know, it's the real, you know, the chops, the strikes, the selling, the drama, like all of that kind of the technical side of things, I suppose. Your selling and your abilities in all these different areas. That's all the steak. The sizzle, that's your entrance gear, that's your mic work, that's your entrance music, that's your pyro, that's your gesture in the entranceway, your gesture on the edge of the ring. It's, you know, Samantha doing the big intro. All of that is the sizzle. And I suppose there could be an argument that, like, you know, Gunther's no Macho Man Randy Savage. He's no Rowdy Roddy Piper on the microphone. He's no Rock. He's no Stone Cold. So I can understand where that comment is coming from. I do think, though, his in-ring is very, very good. I mean, if I think about some of my favourite matches this kind of generation, they do tend to involve Gunther. You know, him against Sheamus at Clash at the Castle, an absolute banger, just a fantastic match. Him and Sheamus and Drew at WrestleMania, his matches with Ilya down in NXT UK and NXT, his match with Tommaso Ciampa, his match with, well, quite a few actually. I mean, you can go through that IC title run and there was quite a few good matches in there. So yeah, I don't know. I do get where you're coming from. I just think it's very different to kind of what else is out there in WWE. WWE with like Bianca swinging her hair around and Roman coming down to the ring, like looking like a god. Gunther's very different to those. Leaping Lucha Larry said, I think he'll hold onto it for a while. Maybe until next year's SummerSlam. I'm thinking Sammy beats him for it. Keep it for a few months, then Braun gets his big win at WrestleMania 42 over Sammy, or vice versa. I'd love to see Sammy get his WrestleMania moment, but I feel like they've missed the boat. Ratchet the Owl said, I am standing on my previous prediction that Sammy wins the Rumble and then we'll make this whole big thing about Sammy being the one that beat him at WrestleMania 40 to end the IC reign. But this time Gunther wins. I think the one who takes it will be Gable at King and Queen of the Ring. Wow. Pro Wrestling News said, Gunther should lose it at WrestleMania 42. Lose it to Bron Breakker. Feuds you could do would be against Ilya, Braun, Brock, Punk, Sheamus, Drew, Seth, Damian. It'll be a long title reign until WrestleMania 42. Wrestling fans since day one said it'll be next year sometime. Sammy or Punk will get it from him. Ilya, Punk, Drew, Finn, Braun, Jay, Sammy. I'd say he keeps it till SummerSlam next year. And there is a gif of the Ring General. Amazing. Doug Lover and Cody fan account says it'll be Mania. He'll lose it to John Cena. Wow, that'd be a great match. He could feud with Ilya. I don't know who else. Keep it long, but not too long. Imagine Cena wins the Rumble, faces Gunther. Imagine that. 321 Screw said, I kind of want it like it was during the Attitude Era, with multiple people always lurking around the title. Orton, Drew, Punk, Seth, Gunther, Damian, Balor, etc. Samantha said Gunther should lose the World Heavyweight Championship sooner rather than later. I'd like to see him lose it to Randy. If Randy doesn't win, maybe a feud with Sammy or Braun. Mark said main event, WrestleMania 41, night 1. Cena wins the Rumble. So that would mean that Gunther will have defended against Brock, Ilya, Cena, maybe Sheamus. Not super long, but long enough, ending at WrestleMania 41. As I said earlier, that is 8 months from now. 321 Screw said, I'm thinking Survivor Series would be a good spot to lose the title. That being said, I would like for him to keep the World Heavyweight Championship picture along with several others. So when he loses it, he's still in the mix. That's what you're saying. Got you. Colton said he should lose it at WrestleMania to Ilya. Wow. Do you think Ilya will be ready? They should have the feud start sometime in November and go through till WrestleMania as the main feuds. Some side feuds, like a month or two, should be with Gable, Braun, Sammy, and Jay. Carl said maybe not as long as his IC title reign, although I wouldn't complain at all if it was, but it still needs to be a lengthy one. I'd have him lose it to Drew, because Drew deserves a title run, and Drew would be just as good as King General with the title, says Carl. Joe said he should lose it to Randy at Clash at the Castle, but it should be something like a foot on the rope and the ref doesn't see. I wonder if you mean Bash in Berlin. I wonder if you mean like you know, this show coming up. This would set up a third match, which could be a last man standing match. Yes, you do. So if it's setting up the third match, then we're saying that he should lose to Randy at Bash in Berlin, sets up a third match. That could be last man standing, and Gunther wins the title back. Got you. Real Wrestling Fan said, I would keep Gunther strong all the way to at least the Rumble. He could beat Randy, Damian, Sheamus, etc. But at the Rumble, he could lose to Ilya Dragunov. But we could give him a run that leads to him at WrestleMania against Carmelo Hayes. So you would have, what, him losing to Carmelo Hayes? Wow. I don't know. I feel like Ilya and Carmelo might need to have a run with the mid-card titles first. But then saying that, you know, could they do that before we get to WrestleMania? I mean, maybe they could have a little run with a mid-card title first. Brandon says this needs to be a shorter one. I want to see him feuding with Bronson Reed after he moves through the roster. Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker, and Randy. We're getting that now. I'd like to see Sammy go 2 out of 3 matches for the title, and in the end, Jey Uso takes it from him. Jey would have won the IC title if not for Jimmy. I think taking the World Heavyweight Championship for Gunther would be a great way to knock him off his reign and give Jey has the ultimate gimmick right now. It would be a huge blow to Gunther's mentality and how he views other wrestlers against himself. Daze, love the work you put in every day. Thank you for all you do. Brandon, thank you, my friend. So you would have Jey be the one that beats Gunther. That's interesting. Wrestling Fan said he should take it to the Rumble. I think he should lose to Drew after the Punk feuds. Maybe he takes on Seth, Bronson, Drew, Ilya as feuds. And I think it will be a long title reign. Jay Villa said, I can see Gunther dropping it to Cena at Mania. The storytelling on the mic will be something for the ages. Good feuds with Punk, Braun, Brock, Priest, Seth, and AJ. I think a reign to Mania would be enough if the push gets booked strongly, similar to Damian's push. Joey said, I do feel that reigns need to vary and not become stale or predictably long. That said, I could see Gunther holding it until the Rumble, when I'd like to see The Miz get a feud and maybe have a brief title run before dropping it back to Gunther, leading to maybe Drew Gunther at WrestleMania 2025, says Joey. Mad Jag said he should lose it at SummerSlam against Bron Breakker. He should feud with Lesnar, Obafemi, Ilya Dragunov, and an insane amount more. Mad Jag, shout out to you. Lucy Axo said, I think he should lose it to Randy at Bash in Berlin. I think WWE should try to get Randy to 16 world titles so that he and Cena can have their last ever match for the record somehow. Plus, everyone expects Gunther to win in Germany and have a long reign. It would be a big shock. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Al Brooks Pat Pick said, I think Gunther, should keep it a while. Love the idea of Sammy being an extreme underdog fighting for it. I mean, I love that as well. I Am the Color Red said, I'd like to see him keep the title until WrestleMania 41, losing to Bron Breakker, the Rumble 25 winner. Think that Gunther could cook with anyone, but Punk, Seth, Drew, they sound good to me. Ashma said, Daze, this is a good question. I think he should lose it at Bad Bloods or Survivor Series to a heel version of Randy. As a feud, Giovanni Vinci and Gunther have got unfinished business. It would be short because we would want to give Cena a last run as champion. Nishi said, I believe Gunther's IC title legacy stays with him. So I would want him to drop the belt to Randy and make Randy a 15-time champ. With Seth injured, the world title might pave the way for him to start a feud with Drew, Punk, and eventually John Cena. Prakar said it should be at the Rumble. It should be against Randy. He should have had feuds with Ilya, Seth, and Sammy. And it shouldn't be as long as his IC title reign. We need Cena winning the record title against Orton at Mania. Cameron said, Daze, this one depends on how the 2025 draft goes, but I would have Gunther hold it till SummerSlam. Have him drop it to Andrade. Oh, by that point, I could see Charlotte and him being paired together on screen, and that might help with promos. El Patata said, WrestleMania 42 loses to Akira Tozawa. He's feuded with Giovanni Vinci, Kaiser, Chad, and Andrade, and it should be a long title reign. Imagine losing it to Akira Tozawa. Nathan said, I think he should lose it in about a year and a half at WrestleMania 42. I think he should lose to Ilya Dragunov. It is very much a WrestleMania main event worthy match. And if WWE do it right and build it, it could very well be the same situation as Kofi Mania. I know it's a stretch, but I can definitely see it. Feuds I would like to see: John Cena, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, Gable, Lesnar, Rollins, Drew, Punk, and Balor. Next up, we've got Ricardo. I want to say have it as a long reign, but Cody is going to have a long reign as well. So I think he should lose it to Jay. If they ever decide to finally pull the trigger on Jay to win the world title. Logan James said, I am sure that Gunther is going to be a long champion. The reign could be 4 years, except WWE has a big star babyface. But now, nothing WWE waiting or 3-4 years. MJF, Ospreay, Okada. Not sure. So you're thinking that, like, if their contracts expire, they may come over and they might be the ones to beat Gunther. Just like Cody, because Cody didn't return to WWE 2022, I think Roman Reigns is still champion now. I'm a bit confused by that ending, to be honest. I feel like, I think if I'm reading it right, you're saying that like MJF, Ospreay, Okada, because when their contracts are up, they'll come over and then, like, you know, it'll be a big shock and they'll go straight after the title. Interesting. Bold. I can respect that. Liam Cost said, I think he should lose the title at Mania. I would love to see Kevin Owens beat him for the title. The feud I want is Gunther against CM Punk, Sammy, and my favourite feud for Gunther would be John Cena on the retirement tour. Valentino said, for me, Gunther should hold the title till WrestleMania. Let him have some banger matches with Ilya Shinsuke. I would have Drew win the Rumble Challenge, Gunther for the title at WrestleMania, and let Drew win the World Heavyweight Championship. Mac Hill said, I think he should lose at Mania to John Cena to win his 17th world title. It's perfect because Cena is everything Gunther hates, and Gunther is everything Cena hates. I think Gunther will have great feuds with Ilya, Sammy, Chad, and more. Kanye said the answer is there is no answer. In wrestling, we always look too far ahead and we don't appreciate the moment. We are witnessing the rise of a possible legendary wrestler. Maybe we just sit back and enjoy the ride. Fasten your seatbelt. Gunther is fire. Wrestling Daze is fire. Kanye, thank you, my friends. I appreciate the kind words. And we'll finish up on this one. So, actually, should we? Can we? Because we might actually be pretty close to the end here. Okay, no. We can see this through. I didn't realise we were so close to the end. Howdy Style said, I'd say he loses it at the Rumble or Mania. He loses to Cena. Dragunov, Pete Dunne, Sheamus, Drew, Punk. Keep this one shorter because Cody needs the long run since he beat Roman, and I don't think Cena should go after Cody. I would like Cena to face adversity with Gunther. Thomas said, need to keep Gunther's title run short. Bo Dallas should be the one to take the title off of Gunther. Night Legacy said he should lose it at WrestleMania to John Cena, which will have a massive build-up and feuds. It would be perfect for John, and it would give Gunther a decent title reign. YNW Lucas said lose the title sometime in 2025 to John Cena as part of the farewell tour. Cena has put over so many people recently. It would be nice to see a meaningful win. As far as feuds, Gunther can have a great match with just about anyone. And our final comment, Omnimus69 said he should lose to Randy. Orton deserves one more solid run. So there we go, my friends. Thank you so much for taking part there. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, this was a good one. So a shout out to Edward for this one. We will be back with another opinions video tomorrow, of course. And then, of course, on Saturday, we'll have an opinions video for SmackDown and your thoughts about this week's show. So that should be fun. And there's just, yeah, loads on the way, as always. So appreciate the support. Have a great evening. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.